Prior to the Civil War, there was a movement, an abolitionist movement, a movement to eliminate slavery. And there were many movements, but one movement in particular was led by a man named John Brown. Anyone heard of John Brown before? Okay, quite a few people. John Brown led a violent revolt to eliminate slavery. And it was very violent, and so the United States put an end to it right away. And everyone remembered that moment because there was a song created. John Brown's body lies moldering in the grave. Really graphic song. But it almost memorialized that event. And it's a popular tune, and you might be familiar with it. Thank you, Wayne. Battle Hymn of the Republic. See, what happened was in 1861, there were some folks at the beginning of the Civil War, and they heard the troops singing this song, marching to this song, and they said, we need a new song. We need something different. So they rewrote the lyrics, and the lyrics became what's known today as Battle Hymn of the Republic. They took an old song and made it into a new song. Today's psalm that Katarina sang for us calls us to sing to the Lord a new song. The context for this psalm was written to a people who were filled with sadness, with anger, with fear, with bitterness. See, they had been taken from their homeland and forced to live somewhere else. And all that they could hold on to were those old songs that they remembered from growing up. And so they sang their old songs. But for the first time, they were getting to go back to where they came from. They were getting to go home. But they were still filled with fear, with anger, and with sadness. And so they were singing those songs, those old songs, about fear and anger and sadness. And then they hear these words, sing to the Lord a new song. Sing to the Lord a new song. And eventually in the psalm we hear about idols. Idols are those things that stand between us and our God. Idols like fear. Idols like sadness. Idols like anger. Those things that stand between us and our God. And so the psalmist reminds them, sing to the Lord a new song. Not this old song, a new song. These words are intended for them, but they're also intended for us. Sing to the Lord a new song. They're powerful words, and they're more than just words. They're also actions. You see, God came to this world to show us how this new song went. He came as a helpless little baby to bring to the world peace as opposed to fear. In a world that lived in fear, in a world that still lives in fear, he came to us to show us the opposite of fear, peace. In a world filled with anger about political situations, like the reading we heard about with the centurion, Jesus came to the world to heal people, to feed the hungry, to put an end to anger and create happiness, a new song. And he continued this ministry to the point that he was even put to death in events that left the world in sadness. But that wasn't the end of the song. 3 days later, he sang to us a new song about life as opposed to death, a new song about peace as opposed to fear, a new song about happiness as opposed to anger, a new song about joy as opposed to sadness. He sang about resurrection. And it's a new song that continues to transform our own lives. When we look around at the world and we see all these current events like the anger amidst the political climate in the United States and the resentment, our God invites us to sing a new song, to put aside those old songs and to sing to God a new song. When we live in fear and we hear about the fear about the airport security and terrorism, our God invites us to sing a new song. To not live in fear, but live with peace and hope. When we look at our own health, or we look around the world and we see things not working the way they're supposed to work, injustices like economic injustices or racial injustices, we say that's not the way God had created the world. Things need to be set right. It takes us all back to that psalm, because the very end of Psalm 96 reminds us God is coming to this world to set everything right. So let us sing a new song. So you already heard about a couple new songs that I talked about in the children's sermon, but I'll remind you of a couple. The first is, you probably noticed the new bulletins. We put together a new committee, a new team that looked at various bulletins from different congregations and took some of those parts of those bulletins and used it to help put together a new bulletin, a new format, a new song. Sing to the Lord a new song. Last weekend, you heard all about the Feed My Starving Children success. 116,664 meals that we created. That's something this congregation has never done before. It was a new song. But the song's not over yet, because we created those meals last weekend and they're being shipped to Haiti as we speak. In fact, they might already be there. And they're going to be feeding thousands of people. There are enough meals there to feed 320 children for 1 year. Sing to the Lord a new song. Many of you might remember that Deaconess Deb is going on sabbatical this summer. Not yet. You're not done yet. Over the course of June, July, and August. And she's going on sabbatical. I'm sure many of you heard about some time for continuing education, to learn about new things. Also a time to spend with her family, get to know them a little bit better, get to connect with them. Also a time for relaxation. All of this so that when she comes back in September, she will have new ideas for us. She will be able to help us sing to the Lord a new song. Battle Hymn of the Republic was created during a dark time in American history. It was created during the Civil War. And the Civil War was one of the first moments in American history when people recognized that we need to honor our fallen soldiers. And so Memorial Day was created. It was created in the midst of the Civil War to honor all of those who had fallen singing an old song. A song about anger, a song about death, a song about war. And there was a new song created. A new song amidst each of us, that all those who had fallen died so that we might be able to sing to the Lord a new song. As we look around the world and we lose hope, as we look around the world and we're filled with anger or sadness or fear, the psalmist invites us to sing to the Lord a new song, to put aside those idols, those things that stand between us and our God, and sing to the Lord a new song. Amen. I invite you to stand as you're able as we continue with our hymn of the day.